It's Friday, February the 10th, 2017, and this is your Barbados Today evening update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, 2 men, including a teenager, are assisting police in their investigations into a break-in at the Dighton Griffith Secondary School at Kingsland, Christchurch, in the early hours of this morning. Now, police said they received a call at around 1 a.m. that the school was being burglarized. When they arrived on the scene, the officers encountered 3 men on the school premises. Law enforcers say the men ran away, but only 2, a 22-year-old and a 17-year-old, were later captured. Meanwhile, a Jamaican woman has been sentenced to 2 18-month jail terms at Dodds Prison here in Barbados after failing to pay 2 $5,000 fines forthwith for drugs. However, because the sentences will run concurrently, 38-year-old Roseanne Rocky Simmons will only spend 18 months behind bars. When Simmons appeared before Chief Magistrate Christopher Birch this morning, she pleaded guilty to possession of cannabis, possession with intent to supply, trafficking, and importation. Simmons, who was nabbed at Grandy Adams International Airport on Wednesday with $50,000 worth of the drug in a false top of her suitcase, was reprimanded and discharged for trafficking and convicted, reprimanded, and discharged for possession with intent to supply. The developer of a 4-story apartment hotel under construction at Enterprise Christchurch has come out swinging against 3 property owners who claim the structure was incompatible with the character of the area. The High Court has already issued an order to the developer, Accra Beach Limited, restraining it from carrying out building operations and/or construction works at the site on Enterprise Beach Road during specified hours until a judgment or further notice. Property owners Hamilton Henderson and Patrick Frost and Little Arches Hotel Inc. had challenged the hotel construction mainly on the grounds that it was undesirable to change the use of a relatively small plot of land in a predominantly residential area on a road that is a cul-de-sac. However, General Manager of Accra Beach Hotel, Suresh Modikaraja, the agent for hotel owner Kenneth Charles, has sought to make it abundantly clear that the developers had acted lawfully.
We are building according to approved plan by country and town planning. It's not something that building out of the non-ordinary. It is as per the approved plan. Thirdly, Little Arches. You know, accommodation entities, it's simple. Provide accommodation in different levels, different sizes, different categories. Apart from Little Arches, they're saying they're nation, they're different. They are all guest houses, apart from the 2 apartments. Everything is guest houses there. What we're building is not big, it's small, slick and chic. It's going to be one of its kind in that area, and fantastic product, which will enhance further the demographic of that area.
Former veteran trade union leader Robert Bobby Morris is not prepared to be drawn into any debate on whether or not the labor movement should be seeking a pay increase for public servants at this time. However, Bobby Morris says before any decision is taken, the labor union and government should sit and have frank discussions and all possible factors examined. Morris was delivering the weekly lunchtime Democratic Labour Party lecture at the party's Belleville St. Michael headquarters this afternoon on the topic, the role of the public sector in the social partnership.
I leave the issue about salary increases to the trade union and the government to make a determination. I am quite clear that there are private sector negotiations going on all like that, and people are getting increases in those private sector areas where it can be afforded. Whether or not the government can provide a salary increase is something that I will have to look at very seriously, but I don't like to interfere with these things. I will have to take the estimates and look at them in terms of what they say. That was my first starting point, researching the estimate.
In sport, 2 points separate the West Indies at number 9 and Pakistan at 8 in the latest ICC ODI team rankings released today. West Indies are only ahead of Afghanistan, Zimbabwe and Ireland, albeit by wide margins. Now, South Africa, however, has returned to the top of the team rankings after sweeping aside Sri Lanka 5-0 at Centurion today. World champions Australia dropped to number 2 spot, with New Zealand, India, England, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh following in that order.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Get your paper, get your paper. Only 225, 220. Who? For what? That's Bear Stare News. I don't read about that on Barbados today since last night. That can't only can't do. 220. Who?
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
We're back with news from the region now. What was expected to be a major protest outside Parliament in Bermuda this morning against the proposed privatization of the country's airport turned out to be a disappointment for the Bermuda Industrial Union, which called the demonstration. Instead, President of the union, Chris Ferber, told its members to return to work because MPs had decided to discuss the controversial airport redevelopment deal, which provides for a foreign company to run the airport for the next 30 years. With the jury still out on the level of public support for the deal, Ferber contends that ordinary workers will be disadvantaged.
Where is the construction workers? Where they're saying, well, we're going to get a job in this airport deal. But guess what? If y'all are general labor and you got at least 480 hours in classroom training, you ain't getting a job done at the airport. So once again, they're setting us up to fail. We went from 75% for medians to building the airport, 75% to 25%. Now it's down to 60% for median, 40% Canadian. And with this training element, I estimate now Barbadians can go down to 40%, and the foreigners can go up to 60%. Because how many brothers and sisters do you know, or brothers, particularly brothers, who are general labor, who's been working in construction for 10 years, who's got 480 hours training in classroom? How many of them? I can tell you, it ain't gonna be that many. And if they've got 20 of them, it might be one, it might be two. So that means the other 18 are going to be out of luck.
In other regional news, it appears that a wave of illness has swept St. Lucia's lone electricity supplier. Yesterday, line staff at Lucilec branches across the island called in sick at their respective departments.
Though a link has not been made between the two events, this comes one day before a mediatory meeting between the company's management, bargaining body CSA, Labour Minister Stephenson King and the Labour Commissioner Ray Narcisse. The CSA last month served the Labour Minister notice of strike action due to the non-resolution of a number of outstanding issues. This meeting was set to convene on Tuesday, but due to Minister King's attendance at the parliamentary sitting, it could not happen. News Force sought to verify whether the line staff's absence from work was due to these outstanding issues. Max Stephen Oberton is the officer in charge of the CSA.
Well, when I called in to speak to some of our members today, I was informed that they were ill. So the most I can tell you is that if they're sick, I wish them well and hope that they could get well enough to get back to work tomorrow if they're not there today. So I was informed.
Among outstanding matters which Lucilec employees want ironed out with the company's management are appraisals and merit increase issues.
On the global front, U.S. President Donald Trump said today his White House will next week unveil new security measures to keep America safe, adding that his administration will continue to pursue efforts to lift the freeze on his immigration ban.
We are going to keep our country safe. We are going to do whatever is necessary to keep our country safe. We had a decision which we think we'll be very successful with. It shouldn't have taken this much time. Because safety is a primary reason. One of the reasons I'm standing here today is the security of our country. The voters felt that I would give it the best security. So we'll be doing something very rapidly having to do with additional security for our country. You'll be seeing that sometime next week. In addition, we will continue to go through the court process, and ultimately I have no doubt that we'll win that particular case.
And that's news and sports. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper email updates and like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, our screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic weekend.